Good afternoon. I'm Caitlin Matson-Levy, and this is the Classical Cafe. Frank Tracz, Director of Bands at K-State, is joining me now in the green room to talk about music at K-State University and upcoming concerts that the ensembles are taking part in. Good afternoon, Frank.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to spend some time with you here a little bit.
Dr. Tracz, I had the privilege of speaking with you a couple of moments before we came live on the air, and you're speaking about your time in Kansas, in that you've been everywhere, but ultimately decided that Kansas was the place to make your home. And how many years now have you been at K-State?
Well, I haven't been everywhere, but I've been in a lot of places. But I've been at Kansas State for 29 years. I'm finishing up my 29th year here. Came here in '93, thought I'd spend a year or two, and then end up going back home to Ohio. But fell in love with the place, fell in love with the university and the students and the band program, and we're here till it's all over.
I love that. Did you always want to be a conductor, director of bands? Did you
I
start out as an instrumentalist?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, in seventh grade, I wanted to be a band director. I was one of those geeks. I still played football in high school and wrestled and did all baseball and all. That's why my joints are all being replaced and surgery and so on and so forth. But the real calling I had was being a band director. But there was a dream when I was in high school. I was going to be a rock and roll star.
Hmm.
It didn't quite work out, but I'm here, and this is where I should be, and this is what I should be doing. No question.
Oh. How many band ensembles, wind ensembles, are there at K-State?
There are five large concert ensembles at K-State. There's the Wind Ensemble, which is the top one. There's the Wind Symphony, which is the second one, and it just played at KMEA last Friday. The third one is the concert band. It's conducted by five graduate students that we have here. The fourth and fifth are university bands, as we call them, and they're smaller ensembles, and they're populated by music ed majors, band director wannabes, that are
Mhm.
playing secondary instruments, and it's conducted by upper class undergraduate music majors. So it's a wonderful experience. Our grad students get to be conducting teachers, and we videotape them, audio tape them, and meet with them half an hour every week for the conductors. The ensemble is music ed majors playing secondary instruments. So you got percussionists playing oboe, which is illegal in small countries around the world.
That's
So it
dangerous.
it is dangerous. It's the most god awful sounding band you've ever heard. The first time they meet.
But how charming.
Oh, but it gets 100% better every rehearsal, and they learn so much. It's a great experience.
So, if we want to hear the university band performance with these music ed majors playing secondary instruments, as you so eloquently said, the percussionists playing the oboes, they have a performance coming up next week.
They do. Next Tuesday, they're going to perform as well with their ensembles and stuff, and it's quite heartening to listen to and watch because you have kids up there fighting through instruments. It's a great learning experience to be a teacher. You're going to have to know the other instruments, and this is good some hands-on experience. The best part is the conductors because you've been led your entire life as a musician, and then when it comes time to be a school band director, you have to stand up in front, and now you're leading, and that's a transition that is very difficult for a lot of students. This gives them an opportunity to have that transition before they even get out in the schools and start to make those mistakes. They'll still make mistakes, but they're better at it than if they didn't do the conducting. So it's an awesome ensemble.
University band performance is Wednesday, March the 9th at 7:30, is that correct?
Yes,
And then the concert band performance, and that is the one conducted by grad students as well, right? Your teaching assistants?
exactly. Yes,
Concert band performance is Tuesday at 7:30,
yes.
and then Wind Ensemble and Wind Symphony have their performance on Monday.
Actually, we've changed that because the wind ensemble concert is a little heavier concert, more extended pieces. So we moved the wind symphony to Tuesday with the concert band.
Got it. But basically, if you want to hear a good band and you go to McCain Auditorium anytime after 7:30, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday,
You'll
you're
hear
going to
it.
hear a band.
You'll hear it. Yeah, you'll hear it. And it's quite
Well,
the variety too.
Dr. Frank Trace, we're going to come back and we'll talk more about music at K-State University, the future of music education, and the state of music right now after living through a couple years of unprecedented times. But let's take an opportunity to hear one of the great masters of composing for wind ensemble, Gustav Holst. We're going to hear a few minutes from his second suite for band, with Frederick Fennell leading the Cleveland Symphony Winds. Gustav Holst's second suite for band, and that was Frederick Fennell conducting the Cleveland Symphony Winds. Dr. Frank Tracz is Director of Bands at K-State University in Manhattan. That is 89.5 for those of you listening right now. We're so happy to have him here talking about music at K-State, specifically the band program. All band ensembles have a concert next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all in McCain Auditorium, all at 7:30. Dr. Tracz, are these ticketed events?
They are not. Just there's plenty of seats. Come on in. It's a large auditorium. It's all free, and it'd be a great experience for all.
So when everything shut down in 2020, completely different set of obstacles for an instrumentalist, especially somebody who plays in an ensemble. It just wasn't possible for quite a while. We didn't feel safe. What did you at K-State do? How did you kind of activate to continue to give your students the experiences and the education they needed during that time?
Well, I think there's two things. Number one, we all survived it. Number two, we made it up as we went along, and that's very important to understand. And what we did before that, during the happening of this pandemic, is we met as college band directors on Zooms with experts and disease experts and air transmission experts, just to find out what we could do and how we could do. We're trying to save our programs, to tell the truth, and save the education of the students, the music experience of the students. So we got through it. We separated by 6 feet. We had masks. We had bell covers. We had puppy pads on the floor for trombone and baritone and trumpet spit. We had victory spray guns after the 30-minute rehearsal, which was the limit. Now we sprayed stands and chairs and evacuated the room for 45 minutes and came back in with another ensemble for 30 minutes. So we all did, and it's just not us, but everybody did this. We did the absolute best we could to keep things going and keep the kids musically active.
And now, being able to perform again
Mhm.
with audiences. Things right now feel like there are very few stipulations put in place. We feel a bit more safe. We feel safer. We feel a bit more free with how we can present concerts and things like that. Um, it must be such a joyful feeling. I
It,
mean,
it, it was great to be back in front of a band and for an ensemble to turn around. There's actually audience members there and parents and friends to receive the musical gift that we've all been giving. So it's been great. It's been a challenge, I think, coming out of the pandemic. This year, in many ways, teaching wise, has been more of a challenge than it was during it. Every This has affected everybody. This has affected every student, and you can see it. You can
yeah,
see it. You can hear it. They're happiest when we're making music, but it takes a lot more right now to get them to that point to make the music.
yes. I hear that exact same thing from every single music educator I speak with. And I guess it's expected that it's going to take a while to rebuild, to quite literally rebuild musculature, rebuild, your chops, rebuild your routine, um, rebuild your discipline, rebuild our mental health. It's just going to take a while, but bit by
Yeah.
bit, I guess we get there.
Yes to all of the above. I think what's going to be important is that we keep going forward. My personal belief, it's going to take 3 to 5 years to get back to a normal situation. And I kind of giggle when I call music making in the band world a normal situation because it seems like it's anything but. I think it's going to take a while to get back there because the limited playing and the kids that didn't want to play anymore, they found something else to do.
Mm,
Okay? So numbers are crucial at this point, especially for public schools, to keep them in the limelight of things. So the bottom line is we're all in this together. The good news is we're coming out of it. The better news is that we're all coming out of this together. We're going to help each other.
yeah. Dr. Frank Trace, thank you so much for being with me today to talk about the wind ensembles, the bands at K-State. Really quickly, let's run down when these are. Um, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, March 7th, 8th, and 9th. All of these band concerts begin at 7:30. They're all in McCain Auditorium. You're going to hear everything from the top tier wind ensemble at K-State, all the way down to the university band performance, which is made up of music educators playing their secondary instruments. I just love it. I bet that's just the fun. I bet that's fun, charming, heartwarming to see. Um, and I bet they do improve, though. I bet it kind of gets to the point where it's pretty impressive.
It's impressive and it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Tracz, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me. And everybody stay healthy, and let's get back to playing again.